What's good everyone, it's Steve from Sneaker Tech Talk, back with another video today. And for today's video, we will be taking a look at the performance review of the Puma All Pro Nitro. Alright, so if you don't know, this shoe is kind of the second iteration of the Clyde All Pro from Puma. And this is Scoot Henderson's kind of PE. He was drafted by the Portland Trail Blazers, and he obviously did sign with Puma. So this is his colorway here from Puma on the All Pro Nitro. Now, just to get into the traction real quick, the traction on these is fantastic. You do have a multi-directional traction pattern, as you can see here on the forefoot, and then on the heel, you kind of have like these little nubs here. And the way these perform on court, clean, dirty floors, it does not matter. Puma's translucent outsole is fantastic on their MBO 1s, their 2s, and their Stewie shoe. All of those shoes I had in translucent outsoles, and they grip the floor, I would say, even better than their solid outsoles. So you're really not going to have many issues with these. I would say you might have to wipe every 5 or 6 plays, but even when I forgot to do so, I had 0 issues in the Puma All Pro Nitro. So as far as I'm concerned, this traction pattern deserves a very solid 9 out of 10. I just wanted to mention as well with this traction pattern, obviously these grooves are pretty tight knit in the forefoot here, and the heel they're a bit more spread out. As far as the rubber compound, it is more of a firm rubber compound, so I would say that you could bring these outdoors. It might wear away, I wouldn't say rather quickly, but over time. But overall, I think if you can grab them on sale, I believe the retail price is $120 or $130 USD. So, you know, if you wait a few months, you might be able to catch these on sale. And I think this would be a great outdoor performer as far as I'm concerned with the Puma All Pro Nitro. So as far as the cushioning goes on the Puma All Pro Nitros, you do have a dual density foam. So as far as the outside, you kind of have like this almost like Phylon foam on the outside. So that's the carrier on the outside, and that is housing the super soft Nitro foam on the inside. And as far as I'm concerned, it is full length, and it's one of the softest iterations of Nitro foam to date, in my opinion. There is a ton of midsole compression. You might not be able to see it here, but once you have them on foot, there is a pretty decent compression on the midsole, and it's just very comfortable underfoot, very plush. It honestly feels pretty similar to Zoom Air. This is their best iteration yet of Nitro foam, in my opinion. And up front, you also have pretty good court feel also in the All Pro Nitros. Obviously not as close to the floor as like a Kobe model, but as far as what they've brought in their foam compounds thus far with the Nitro foam, I would say this is the closest to the floor that they've had yet. And you also have this portion here at the back of the outsole where there's these 2 slits. Now obviously that's kind of taking away some weight for the shoe, but it also helps that Nitro foam compress, expand, and contract. So you do have that as well. So a great job by Puma. I believe Jeremy was the designer on these, probably a team, but they did a fantastic job as the overall cushioning on the Puma All Pro Nitro. As far as the heel to toe transition on these shoes, it is a very natural feeling. You have a nice curvature to the shoe here. The foam compound is the same all the way through, so I don't think you'll have any issues with the cushioning with this shoe. Obviously over time Nitro foam will break down, but I have played about 9 or 10 hours in these so far, and they still feel just as fluffy and as nice as the day I bought them. As far as the insole goes, you do get this ortho-lite insole, but one thing that's different with Puma is their insoles are super thick compared to a lot of the other brands. So I've played in these a decent amount, and there's really no wear and tear on this insole at all, and it still has been keeping its properties as far as I'm concerned. So you do get that ortho-lite insole in the Puma All Pro Nitro. So as far as the cushioning goes on the Puma All Pro Nitro, I'm going to have to give these a very great 9 out of 10. I really enjoyed my time in the Puma All Pro Nitro. And this will be a shoe that I will keep in my bag for time to come because it's a fantastic performer and a very tried and true traction and cushion setup. As far as the fit goes on the Puma All Pro Nitros, I had to go up half a size in these. So I tried on my usual size 10.5. I wore a size 10.5 in the MBO 1s, the 2s, and the Stewies, With these, a 10.5 was a no-go. Like my toe was smashing through the end of the shoe. So I went up to a size 11 in these, and it is a very snug 1-to-1 fit, even with a size 11. Like my toe is basically touching the very end of this shoe. So if you're a wide footer, I would say go up half a size right from the get-go, possibly a full size, because the toe does taper in a little bit. There is a little bit of room in that toe box, but it's very slanted, as you can see here. So there's not a lot of volume in that toe box. So very much a 1-to-1 fit. You are getting a half booty construction tongue, and you do have this little lace hole or kind of lace lock for your laces to prevent the tongue from spinning around while you're playing in these. So overall, I really enjoyed the fit on the Puma All Pro Nitros. I'm gonna have to give these a decent 8 out of 10. A slight issue that I did have with the Puma MB02s in my size 10.5 in those, lengthwise it was okay, but the overall volume of the shoe was just really tight on my foot. At the top of the shoe, it was really pushing down on my toes. I'm not sure if that's because of the synthetic material on the toe box on the pair that I had, whereas this one just has that screen mesh, so it's a lot more pliable and soft once broken in. But as far as the Puma All Pro Nitro, I went up that half a size and I had no issues as far as the overall fit and comfort goes. One last thing I did want to touch on as far as the fit goes, with this lacing system, you have a traditional lacing system here where you have the holes punched through at the top for those three. And then at the bottom here, you actually have these 3 eyelets here on the lateral and then the 2 on the medial side. So what those are doing, these are kind of little eyelets here that run down into the strobo board. So when you pull really tight on these bottom ones here, it is going to kind of harness your foot in, which acts as support as well, but it also helps aid in the fit on the Puma All Pro Nitro. So as far as the lacing system, I actually really enjoy with what they did, kind of having the traditional portion up top and then these eyelets at the bottom with those cables. So as far as the materials go on this pair here, it's an overall pretty cheap setup in my opinion. There is not much break-in time, which I'm very happy about, and they are very breathable. But what you're getting for materials is basically a synthetic, almost like screen mesh overlay, and you have some synthetic materials as well, almost like a patent leather portion on the eye stay that runs up the lace portion here. So overall, it's really nothing special. It's a pretty cheap setup, some more of that really cheap synthetic material on back. But how these perform on court, you're gonna love them. They break in quick. It's a very nice overlay over your foot, and there's really no break-in time. So as far as the materials go, nothing premium. It would be nice to see some leather or suede material on some future colorways, but on this Scoot Henderson pair here, you're just not getting that. It's a pretty basic setup, but it does get the job done on court. And as far as the price point, I'm guessing you can't really complain. I'm assuming you'll be able to find these on sale in the months to come, so keep your eye out for that if you're looking to grab a pair on sale. But as far as the materials go, I'm gonna have to give these a 7 out of 10. So as far as the support goes on the Puma All Pro Nitros, you do have that internal heel counter, which is very firm on this, like one of the firmer internal heel counters, that I think I've ever felt. It really does its job great, and it does run down the lateral and medial side of your heel. So it does a great job of locking your heel in and giving your foot that support that it needs. Moving to the bottom of the shoe, you have a very wide and stable base here in the forefoot, and honestly in the heel as well. And then you do have this outrigger that does flare out right here. So that's going to prevent your foot from teetering over. It's going to help aid your foot and supporting your foot as far as the Puma All Pro Nitro goes. As well at the bottom, you have this TPU torsion bar, which is offering some great torsional rigidity. As you can see here, it's hard to bend. You do have some forefoot flex at the forefoot of the shoe, but as far as the midfoot goes, where you want that support for your foot, it does a great job with that. And then as well, your foot is also sitting just ever so slightly within this midsole, kind of this Phylon and Nitro foam midsole. So on those hard lateral cuts coupled with these bottom 3 eyelets that do run down into the strobo board, your foot is going to be harnessed in great within the shoe. On any hard lateral cuts that I made, Basically any movement I wanted to make in this shoe, I had no issues and no hiccups. This shoe did a fantastic job as far as supporting my foot in the Puma All Pro Nitro. I think this is going to be one of the best budget friendly shoes, especially once they start to go on sale, because the overall package that you're getting here with the traction, cushion, and support, it's a very good setup in my opinion. So as far as Puma and their basketball shoes go, I'm really looking forward to what they're bringing here in 2023 and into 2024. So overall, as far as the support goes, I'm gonna have to give these a very nice 8.5 out of 10. As far as the weight goes on the Puma All Pro Nitro, this is a US size 11, and these come in at 14.2 ounces. So just to give you an idea, the LeBron 20s in my size are a 15.4 ounce shoe. The recently reviewed GT Jump 2 was about 16.4, so this shoe comes in lighter than both of them. And in my opinion, the weight is really a non-issue as far as the Puma All Pro Nitros. So as far as the performance on this shoe, you're getting amazing traction on this shoe with that multi-directional, very firm, translucent outsole. You are getting some really nice Nitro foam. I think it's their best iteration yet, like I have mentioned. And then all of these support features are great as well. The overall fit is pretty decent. Materials are very cheap in my opinion, but you're kind of getting what you're paying for at the price point that these are at. So as far as the Puma All Pro Nitros, I would absolutely give this shoe the stamp of approval for on-court performers. And I would actually say if you haven't tried these on yet, but you have played in a ton of Puma models from the past, I would say give these a shot because I really enjoyed this shoe. And I think it's Puma's basically their best shoe on the market right now, which is pretty crazy because it's a team shoe basically where they're going to kind of push this shoe on a lot of players, not a signature model. But that really says nothing because in my opinion, this shoe basically is the best Puma basketball shoe to date in my opinion. So let me know down in the comments what you guys think of the Puma All Pro Nitro. I look forward to playing in this shoe in the future. And as always, if you guys can like, comment, and subscribe, that does help the channel a ton. Check out my Instagram over at 23mj88, as it is an extension of my YouTube channel with all my pickups, basketball footage, and nostalgia as a whole. As always, stick around for the end of the video as I will have a portion of me playing in the Puma All Pro Nitro. As always, thanks for watching today's video, and until next time, peace.